You planned the scene, you negotiated the boundaries, you played hard, you played safe, you played beautifully. And then the crash. Maybe you're the submissive who suddenly feels wrung out, weepy, or hollow, like someone pulled a plug and all your energy just drained away. Or maybe you're the top who thought you'd feel powerful, exhilarated, and satisfied, and instead you feel anxious, guilty, or just plain drained. You did everything right. So why do you feel so wrong? Welcome to Drop, the emotional and physical crash that happens after intense play. It's one of the least talked about aspects of kink, and it catches people completely off guard because nobody warns you that the come down from intensity can feel worse than a breakup and the flu combined. Hey there, I'm Dr. Misty with Untamed Ember, and today we're unpacking top drop, sub drop, and the neurochemistry of what happens after. Because drop isn't proof you did it wrong, it's proof your nervous system is still on the ride. If you've ever felt massively sad or anxious after good sex or intense play, if you've ever wondered why you crash so hard after scenes that felt amazing in the moment, or if you're trying to figure out how to support yourself or your partners through the aftermath of intensity, this episode is for you. Because here's what nobody tells you when you're learning about kink and power dynamics. The scene doesn't end when the rope comes off or the flogger goes down. The scene ends when your nervous system has fully recalibrated, and that can take hours or even days. Drop is real, it's common, it's rooted in actual neurochemistry, not personal failure. And having a plan for it is just as important as negotiating the scene itself. So let's dive into what drop actually is, why it happens, and how to navigate it with care and compassion. Let's get into it. So let's start with definitions because drop gets thrown around in kink communities, but not everyone explains what it actually means. Subdrop is the emotional and physical low that can follow a submissive or a bottom experience. After a scene where you've been in a receptive, vulnerable, or a surrendered state, you might experience sudden sadness or crying for no clear reason, profound fatigue, like you can barely keep your eyes open, a feeling of disconnection or emptiness, like someone scooped out all your insides, shame spirals, suddenly feeling like you're weird, broken, or you did something wrong, physical symptoms like headaches, body aches, or feeling cold. It's like all the intensity and connection and sensation you experience during the scene gets replaced with a void. And it can feel terrifying, especially if you weren't expecting it. Top drop is the mirror experience for dominance, tops, or the person in the giving or directing role. After a scene where you've been in control, making decisions, delivering sensation, you might experience guilt about the intensity of what you did, even though it was consensual, anxiety about whether your partner is okay, whether you hurt them, whether you crossed a line, a sudden crash in energy, like feeling depleted and empty, self-doubt, like second-guessing your actions, wondering if you're a bad person, or loneliness or disconnection, even if your partner is right there. It's this awful combination of, did I just hurt someone I care about, mixed with, why do I feel so hollow when that was supposed to be hot? And here's what's crucial to understand. Drop is common, natural, and rooted in neurochemistry. It's not a sign that you did something wrong. It's not evidence that kink is inherently harmful. It's not proof that you're broken or that your partner is broken. Think of it like the world's least fun hangover, except instead of tequila shots, you did trust falls with floggers. Your body went through something intense, and now it's recalibrating. That recalibration process isn't always smooth or comfortable. Drop happens to experienced players and beginners alike. It happens in healthy, consensual dynamics. It happens even when you do everything right. Because drop isn't about right or wrong, it's about biology. So, what's actually happening in your body during drop? Let's get into the science because understanding the neurochemistry makes drop feel a lot less scary and a lot more manageable. During intense play, whether it's kinky, sexual, or just emotionally charged, Your body floods with a cocktail of powerful neurochemicals, adrenaline and norepinephrine. These stress hormones create that heightened awareness, increased heart rate, sharper focus. They're what make intense play feel exciting and alive. Dopamine, the pleasure and reward chemical. This is what makes intense experiences feel good, what keeps you engaged and wanting more. Endorphins, your body's natural painkillers. These are what allow you to process pain as pleasure during impact play, what create that floaty, euphoric feeling. Oxytocin, the bonding hormone, released during touch, connection, and orgasm. This is what creates that sense of deep intimacy and trust. During play, your nervous system is charged, flooded, and activated. You're riding this massive neurochemical wave. Your brain is lighting up like a Christmas tree. Your body is processing intensity in ways it doesn't during everyday life. And then the scene ends, and your body has to come down from that wave. Here's the problem. What goes up must come down. And when you flooded your system with all these feel-good, high-intensity chemicals, the crash, when they start to dissipate, can be brutal. Your dopamine levels drop, which can create feelings of emptiness or depression. Your endorphins wear off, which might mean you suddenly feel pain or discomfort that was masked during the scene. Your adrenaline crash can leave you exhausted and shaky. And even oxytocin, which is supposed to be the love hormone, can leave you feeling vulnerable and needy as it fades. This is drop. It's not emotional, it's not psychological, it's chemical. From a polyvagal perspective, what's happening during play is that you're often toggling between sympathetic activation, that fight or flight energy, the intensity and edge, and ventral vagal connection, that's safety, pleasure, and trust. During the scene, these states are balanced in a specific way. You're in sympathetic arousal, but with the underlying safety of ventral connection. You're activated, but not genuinely threatened. The after is when your system has to re-regulate. It has to come down from that sympathetic charge and settle back into a baseline state. And that transition isn't always smooth. Sometimes you overshoot and end up in dorsal vagal shutdown, that collapse, numbness, or disconnection feeling. Sometimes you stay sympathetically activated and feel anxious or restless. Sometimes you bounce between states and feel emotionally unstable. Your nervous system is trying to figure out, okay, that was intense. Are we safe now? What state should we be in? And here's something really important for my neurodivergent folks. Neurodivergent bodies may have sharper swings or slower regulation after intense experiences. If you're autistic or ADHD, your nervous system might already have a harder time with transitions and state changes. Adding the intensity of kink or edgy play can amplify that difficulty. You might crash harder, take longer to recalibrate, or need more specific support to regulate. If you have a trauma history, your nervous system might interpret the come down as danger, triggering old patterns, even when nothing unsafe actually happened. The vulnerability of drop can feel like the vulnerability of past harm, and your body might respond accordingly. Understanding that drop is neurochemical helps us remove shame from the equation. You're not weak for experiencing it. You're not doing kink wrong. Your body is just doing exactly what bodies do after intensity, trying to find equilibrium again. So we've talked about what drop is and why it happens. Now let's get specific about what it actually looks like, because recognizing drop when it's happening is the first step to managing it. For submissives and bottoms, drop might show up as crying, sometimes immediately after the scene, sometimes hours later. And it's not crying about anything specific. It's just this wave of emotion that needs to come out. Or exhaustion, not just I'm tired, but I can't keep my eyes open. I need to sleep for 12 hours level fatigue. Your body used a massive amount of energy processing all that intensity. Or feeling hollow or empty, like someone reached inside of you and removed something essential. That sense of void where connection used to be. Or shame spirals, suddenly feeling like you're weird, broken, or wrong for enjoying what you enjoyed. Second-guessing yourself. Wondering if there's something wrong with you for wanting intensity or pain or submission. Or sensory overwhelm. Everything feels like too much. Lights are too bright, sounds are too loud, textures are too intense. Your nervous system is maxed out and can't process any more input. Or physical symptoms like headaches, muscle aches, feeling cold or shaky, digestive issues, or just generally feeling like you're coming down with something. For tops and dominants, drop might show up as guilt, like intense gnawing guilt about what you did, even though it was completely consensual and your partner enjoyed it. Your brain starts replaying moments and asking, did I hurt them? Did I go too far? Anxiety about your partner's safety. Compulsively checking on them, needing reassurance that they're okay, worrying that you caused harm even when you know intellectually that you didn't. Sudden loneliness or disconnection, feeling isolated even if your partner is right there with you, like you can't quite reach them anymore. Or self-doubt, questioning whether you're a good person, whether you should be doing this kind of play, whether there's something wrong with you for enjoying the power or intensity. Or an energy crash, feeling completely depleted, unable to maintain the focus, directive energy you had during the scene. For both roles, you might experience sleep disruptions, either crashing hard and sleeping for hours, or struggling to sleep because your nervous system is still activated. Or emotional swings, feeling fine one minute and then suddenly crying or anxious the next. Your mood feels unstable and unpredictable. Or physical vulnerability, feeling more susceptible to getting sick, having old injuries flare up, or just generally feeling fragile. Now, here's something really important. We need to distinguish normal drop from red flags that indicate something actually unsafe happened. Normal drop feels uncomfortable, but not dangerous. It's distressing, but it passes. It's your body recalibrating, not your body telling you that you were harmed. Red flags that this isn't just drop include feeling genuinely violated or that consent was crossed. Physical injury that wasn't intended or negotiated. Persistent dissociation that doesn't resolve with care and time. A partner who dismisses your distress or refuses to provide support. Realizing that boundaries were pushed or ignored during the scene. If you're experiencing those things, that's not drop. That's a consent violation or harm that needs to be addressed. And you deserve support in naming that and getting help processing it. But if what you're experiencing is the neurochemical come down we've been talking about, then what you need is care, not crisis intervention. You need support for the recalibration process, not necessarily therapeutic intervention for trauma. Drop is uncomfortable, but it's also normal. And knowing the difference between my nervous system is recalibrating and something unsafe happened is crucial. All right, so drop is real, it's common, it's rooted in biology. Now, the question is, how do you navigate it? The answer is you plan for it, you normalize it. You build it into your kink practice as an expected part of intense play, not an unfortunate surprise. Before play, plan for drop-in negotiations. When you're negotiating a scene, don't just talk about what's going to happen during. Talk about what might happen after. You could say this: I tend to crash emotionally about 24 hours after intense scenes. When that happens, I need reassurance that I'm not broken and maybe some check-in texts. Or try this one. I sometimes get top drop and feel guilty even when everything was consensual. If that happens, I might need you to tell me explicitly that you're okay and that I didn't hurt you. Or try this one. I get really physically depleted after bottoming, and I'm probably going to need to sleep and eat and not be social for a while. Normalize drop. Expect it. Plan for it. Don't treat it as a sign of failure. Treat it as a predictable part of the process that deserves care. During play, pace intensity and build in anchors. You can sometimes reduce the severity of drop by how you structure the scene itself. Don't go from 0 to maximum intensity immediately. Build gradually. Give your nervous system time to adjust to each level before escalating. Check in regularly, not just about consent, but about state. How's your body feeling? How's your headspace? Use grounding touch or words throughout the scene. Physical contact that isn't part of the intensity, a hand on the shoulder, eye contact, a gentle reminder of safety, can help keep the connection alive even during edge play. Think of it like pacing a marathon instead of sprinting. You're less likely to collapse at the end if you managed your energy throughout. After play. This is where most people focus their drop prevention, and for good reason. Good aftercare can significantly reduce the severity and duration of drop. But here's the thing, aftercare isn't one size fits all. What works for one person's nervous system might not work for another's. Some people need physical touch, like cuddling, being held, skin-to-skin contact. That oxytocin boost from continued touch helps ease the transition. Some people need silence and space. Being touched or talked to after intensity might feel overwhelming. They need to be alone or quietly parallel to their partner. Some people need snacks, literally, food. Your blood sugar crashes after intensity, and eating something helps stabilize your system. Some people need weighted blankets or deep pressure, that proprioceptive input that says you're safe, you're grounded, you're here. Some people need to debrief, to talk through what happened, process it verbally, and get reassurance. Some people need distraction, like a funny show, a familiar ritual, something that shifts their brain out of processing mode. Figure out what your nervous system actually needs, not what aftercare is supposed to look like, and communicate that to your partners so that they can support you effectively. Plan for next day care too. Drop can hit 24 to 48 hours later. Here's what catches people off guard. Drop doesn't always hit immediately. Sometimes you feel fine right after the scene, and then the next day or the day after you crash really hard. This delayed drop is really common, and it can be confusing because you're not connecting it to the scene anymore. You just think you're having a bad day, so plan for it. Build in check-ins for the days following intense play. Have self-care resources ready. Know that you might need extra gentleness with yourself even when the scene feels like it's in the past. Text your play partner. Hey, I'm hitting some drop today. Nothing you did wrong, just my nervous system doing its thing. I'll be okay, but I wanted you to know. That communication keeps everyone connected and prevents the isolation that makes drop worse. Tops need aftercare too, not just subs. This is huge and it gets missed constantly. Tops and dominates need aftercare just as much as bottoms and submissives. There's this cultural narrative that the person who is in control doesn't need care afterwards. That they should be able to just shake it off and be fine. That's bullshit. If anything, tops sometimes need more support because they're not expecting drop and don't always have frameworks for understanding it. If you're a top, give yourself permission to need aftercare. Ask your partner for reassurance. Let yourself be held. Process your feelings. Don't pretend you're fine when you're not. And if you're a bottom, check in on your top. Make sure they're okay. Offer them care and connection. Co-regulate together. Drop doesn't mean failure. It means you went deep. Finally, let's shift the narrative around drop entirely. Drop isn't a sign you messed up. Drop is a sign you accessed something real, something deep, something that activated your nervous system in significant ways. If you never experienced drop, that's fine. It might mean you're playing in ways that don't create that level of neurochemical flood. But if you do experience drop, it's not evidence of dysfunction. It's evidence of depth. Safety isn't about avoiding drop. Safety is about having a plan for it, about normalizing it, about caring for each other and yourself through the recalibration process. You don't prevent drop by playing less intensely. You navigate drop by building better support structures around your intensity. So let's pause and get personal for a moment. Think back to an intense moment, sexual or kinky or otherwise, where you felt amazing in the moment and then you crashed afterwards. Maybe it was after mind-blowing sex where you suddenly felt weirdly sad. Maybe it was after an intense scene where you spent the next day feeling hollow. Maybe it was after a peak experience of any kind where the come down felt disproportionately hard. What did your body feel like during that crash? Where did you feel it physically? What emotions came up? And more importantly, what helped? Did connection make it feel better, or did you need space? Did talking help, or did you need silence? Did you need to be held, or did touch feel like too much? And what made it worse? Did isolation amplify it? Did trying to push through and be normal make you feel worse? Did lack of understanding from others compound the difficulty? Now, imagine building a ritual, a specific intentional practice that you could lean on next time drop hits. Maybe it's a comfort snack you keep on hand specifically for post-scene care. Maybe it's a particular song or playlist that helps you regulate. Maybe it's a weighted blanket that you wrap yourself in. Maybe it's a text to a trusted friend who understands. Hey, I'm in drop today, not looking for advice, just wanted you to know. Notice how much easier it feels when you expect drop instead of blaming yourself for it. When you have a plan instead of being blindsided. Your nervous system isn't failing when it experiences drop, it's recalibrating, and it deserves care during that process. As we close this episode, I want you to hear this clearly. Top drop and sub drop aren't signs you messed up. They're signs your body and brain are recalibrating after intensity. They're evidence that you accessed something real, something that activated your nervous system in significant ways. And the best way to honor drop, the most compassionate thing you can do for yourself and for your partners, is to plan for it. With care, with rituals, with communication, and with compassion. Don't wait until you're in the middle of a crash to figure out what you need. Build your drop care plan now. Normalize talking about it. Expect it as part of the process, not as an unfortunate surprise. Because your scenes don't end when the flogger goes down. They don't end when the rope comes off. They end when your nervous system says, I'm safe again. I've integrated this experience. I'm recalibrated. And that process deserves as much care and attention as the scene itself. If today's episode helped you rethink aftercare, if it gave you language for experiences you didn't know how to name, hit subscribe to Untamed Ember wherever you get your podcasts. And if you'd like to learn more, check out my mini course about this exact topic at untamedember.com. And don't forget to join the newsletter at untamedember.kit.com for deep dives into the complex, embodied, beautiful work of navigating sexuality with care and consciousness. Until next time, this is Dr. Misty with Untamed Ember, reminding you that intensity requires care before, during, and after. Your nervous system deserves all of it. See you next episode.